If you continue, or if I continue, to make some of the decisions that I'm making in my life right now, what story am I going to tell? Right. But let's play it out. I'm doing this behavior right now. And it could be internal, external. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But play it out. Play out the scenario. If I continue down this particular path that doesn't involve God, what's your life going to look like? We're going to talk about Moses real quick. We talked about Moses on Wednesday since I wasn't there? Yeah? Okay. Talked about me too? I got nothing for that. So, Moses, at the time that we're getting ready to speak of in his life, he's 80 years old. Now, Moses only lived to be 120 years old, so he's 2/3 of the way through his life. Moses was always seemed drawn to the wrongs that needed to be righted. He was at his best and his worst responding to conflicts. And he didn't stop reacting, he just learned to react correctly. Here's the kicker. God didn't change who Moses was. He took Moses' life and wrote a story on it. How many of us are one of those kind of people that seems like we're always in the midst of drama? I think of Jordan, because Jordan's always in the middle of something going on with somebody. Carrie is the same way. She's right in the middle of the dirt. Don't know why. You could ask Jordan, she says, don't know why. But obviously there's a purpose to it. So go to Exodus chapter 15. We're going to kind of skim over the first couple of chapters before we get to where we're going to go. And before I ask you the question I'm going to ask. Exodus chapter 15. This is, some would say, this song of Moses is the oldest recorded song in the world. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I want to read some excerpts of it. When this song is penned and sung is right after the Exodus. So, the Israelites have been led out of Egypt, where they have been trapped for years and years and years and years. We have seen Moses split the water so they could flee. So, big deal. Happy people singing praises to God, and this is what they say. The Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my victory. He is my God, and I will praise him. He is my Father's God, and I will exalt him. Skip down to 13. It says, with unfailing love you lead this people whom you have ransomed. You will guide them in your strength to the place where your holiness dwells. And then down to 21, I will sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. He has thrown both horse and rider into the sea. Anybody ever been at a place in your life where you have been delivered from whatever bondage that you have been through, and it is all about him at that moment? So we call that a spiritual high as Christian people, as churchy people, because it's all good right then. Now, listen to this. Then Moses led the people of Israel away from the Red Sea, and they moved out into the Shur Desert. They traveled in this desert for 3 days. And keep in mind, they had been enslaved for 40 years. 3 days afterwards, when they came to Marah, they finally found water, but the people couldn't drink it because it was bitter. So guess what the people started to do? Like all good church Christian people do. What would you think? Whine and complain. They just saw God do this. He just split the sea. All of a sudden, they're 3 days without water. They get water. It's bitter. They didn't like the taste of it. Much like we don't sometimes like the taste of our lives. And guess what? We start complaining. Now, here's